High drama continues from Delhi to Kolkata as West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee escalates her war path against the BJP as well as the Enforcement Directorate. The ED's raid at IPAC offices and the Home Office Director Prateek Jain have triggered fierce protests, with Mamata herself leading a march in Kolkata. Now, the ED accuses her of obstructing the probe and even stealing evidences, while Kolkata police have filed a case against ED officials after a deputy commissioner was allegedly pushed during this entire search. Meanwhile, the Calcutta High Court has dealt a blow to the agency's plea for urgent hearing, prompting ED lawyers to consider moving the Supreme Court, citing transparency and a breakdown of law and order. IPAC has also called the raids unsettling but says that it is cooperating fully. And in a fresh twist, opposition leader Suvendu Adhikari has slapped a defamation notice on Mamata Banerjee, demanding proof of her allegations within 72 hours. Listen in.
তুমি আমাকে জেলে ভরবে, আমি তোমাকে সারা পৃথিবীতে ভরে দেব। সুস্থ বাঘের থেকেও আহত বাঘ আরো ভয়ঙ্কর। সারা দেশ খেয়েছো, দেশের টাকা বাইরে বেচেছো, আর দেশের টাকা নিয়ে গিয়ে এক একটা করে গলায় সব সোনার হার পরে এসেছো। আর দেশে আজকে গ্রামের গরিব লোকের বাড়ির টাকা 4 বছর ধরে বাংলায় দাওনি।
कंप्लीटली क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस। 2021 में हमने देखा एक सीनियर पॉलिटिशियन, एक चीफ मिनिस्टर जो संविधान हाथ में रखते हुए ओथ लिया है, उनका इस तरीके से कार्रवाई सीधा संविधान के ऊपर हमला है। सरकार की जो काम और सरकार की जो मानी, जो टेंडर जो वहाँ काम कर रहा है, उनको आईपैक के अकाउंट में रिश्वत देना पड़ रहा है, काट मानी 16 करोड़।
And CNN News 18's Anand Narasimhan speaks exclusively to Bengal Governor C.V. Ananda Bose, who said the recent developments in the ED Mamata standoff are unfortunate. The governor cites worrying intelligence reports and legal advice calling for strong action, warning that mobocracy can never replace democracy. Listen in.
Joining us now is the Governor of Bengal, Shri C.V. Ananda Bose. Morning, Governor Saab. Thank you for your time.
Morning.
What has transpired in Bengal over the last 48 hours, your thoughts on the same, first up?
See, what happened in Bengal in the last few days is something which does not bring credit to anybody down the line. But since the matter is before the High Court, being sub judice, as governor, it may not be appropriate for me to pass any judgment or comment on that now.
But was it surprising for you to see what transpired? Central agencies being held hostage, that's what they have alleged in their petition. They were assaulted, evidence has been taken away from them. They have alleged theft of evidence in an important matter.
These are issues which are already there before the High Court. Let us wait for the High Court's judgment in the matter. What is reported in the media and also what I have got from the intelligence agencies is something which is very unusual and shocking.
Why do you say so, sir?
I have received a lot of representations in the peace room in the Lok Bhavan. Earlier Raj Bhavan is now Lok Bhavan. Concerns expressed by the public, concerns expressed by the lawyers. There are 3 legal issues which are sprang forth from this case. Number 1, obstructing a public servant from the due discharge of his duties, which is an offense under the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. Second, intimidating or threatening officers is also something which is very serious, a graver offense, which can entitle a punishment of 2 years imprisonment and fine. The third is constitutional in nature, and that's much more serious. A constitutional authority is supposed to defend the Constitution. If the authority itself starts breaking the constitution, that is something which, according to the constitutional experts, will disqualify the person from holding that constitutional office. These are all views expressed by various legal pundits and also constitutional experts. I, as governor, do not want to come for a knee-jerk reaction in the matter. I'm examining it from every angle. Whatever is appropriate, action will be taken.
But this is not the first instance. Even during your tenure, there have been repeated instances where there is seemingly a breakdown of law and order, or perhaps, constitutional due process.
Yes, it's very disturbing that it is recurring even after instance after instance. It does not augur well for democracy. Democracy should not degenerate into mobocracy, especially those who are supposed to uphold the constitution. If they themselves appear before the public as breakers of the law, it is not a good precedent. It cannot be tolerated under a democratic setup under the Constitution of India.
You have submitted multiple reports even in the past about the situation in Bengal. In your assessment, is it going from bad to worse?
You see, we are an evolving democracy. Democracy has got checks and balances to counter such situations. I'm very optimistic that our constitution has enough provisions, enough checks and balances to contain these things. It will certainly be contained. Let us wait and watch.
You have had issues with Lok Bhavan itself and staff and operating within the Lok Bhavan. There have been instances in the past, and now we are seeing the state's chief minister taking to the streets for something or for an investigation that has not even directly related to her, where the Enforcement Directorate was conducting its raids. Is this a good example for democracy?
Certainly not. Certainly not. See, democracy depends on consensus. There can, of course, be protests, but there should be the way of protesting. And the constitutional authorities, especially the person who is in charge of Home Department, taking the law into their hands is not something which is acceptable by any counts.
The state's home minister is supposed to be, or the law and order is a state subject. But in this case, has there been, in your view, a brazen misuse of that power?
These are issues on which the governor's opinion will be given to the appropriate authorities in a confidential manner. I have already started that, and when it is time, I will divulge it before the press. As of now, any transaction which takes place between the governor and the central authorities, particularly the President of India, should be kept confidential. Therefore, I do not want to comment on the content of my report. Reports are there. Action will be taken.
Multiple times in the past, the question around Bengal's law and order situation and the need to perhaps invoke Article 356 has arisen. And the Lok Bhavan has deterred, be it you or your predecessor. Do you believe that situation has come to pass now, or that the fact that there are elections just around the corner will weigh?
See, Article 356 and 355 are constitutional options. A constitutional option does not become a constitutional decision by its own. There are various factors to be looked into. We are looking into the matter. And also, as you have rightly pointed out, the coming election may also form a background of this kind of knee-jerk reactions. But one thing is there, a very balanced approach is required in these cases. What is more important is the interest of the people should not be sabotaged. There should be free and fair election in the state as well as in the other states. For that, it is very necessary that people, all of the authorities, exercise restraint. If they do not do that, then there is the constitution to see that it is enforced, and it will be enforced.
So when it comes to a footballer coming to a stadium, there is breakdown of law and order. But when it comes to the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate, the same police stands with the state's chief minister. Isn't it an irony?
See, that is what Shakespeare would say. Misery makes strange bedfellows. That is what I am also exercising in Bengal. These are all strange situations which have not happened anywhere else. So we have to have an unusual way of tackling this. Certainly, nobody is going to sit idle as a mute watcher of what is going on there. Appropriate action will be taken. We are waiting for the judgment of the High Court, because when something is sub judice, it is not appropriate for a constitutional authority to comment on that or bypass it right at the end. But wait and watch, action will be there.
My final question to you, sir, is
Please.
in Bharat's 7.5 decade history as independent Bharat, the Lok Bhavan has intervened on far lesser issues, and there has been perhaps, if I may use the word, ankush on such conduct. But with Bengal, there seems to be an extra long rope that's been given to the state's chief minister and the state government. Would you agree this accusation or this point being raised at multiple corners? Why this long rope for the Bengal government?
You see, certain things, again, as Shakespeare would put it, in politics should be treated as sound and fury, signifying nothing. But when the limit is crossed, there should be action. I have a feeling now, after a series of such incidents, where law has been taken over by the law defenders themselves, they are taking the law in their hands. This is something which does not augur well for democracy at all. Strong action is required and strong action will be taken. It's a long rope, yes, but action will be there. At the end of the tunnel, there will certainly be light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, the darkest hour is the one that precedes the dawn. This I would see as the darkest hour as far as democracy in Bengal is concerned. Certainly there will be light at the end of the tunnel. We are waiting for that.
Has that limit been crossed, sir?
Yes.
Governor C.V. Ananda Boseji, thank you for your time. I know you have a remit and you have to speak within those limitations, but thank you for being candid as always. Thank you.